You decided to start a podcast? How exciting. With a podcast, you can share your organic and free conversations with an audience and connect at a deeper level, which is so needed right now. You can entertain, educate, share stories, and give your audience access to information they never thought possible. There's never been a better time to start a podcast, and in this video, I'll show you how easy it is to produce and launch one. No more hiding, no more excuses. We're gonna do it together. I'm going to walk through every step and actually create a mock podcast right along with you. By the end of this video, we'll watch my podcast go live on Spotify. We're going to have a lot of fun. Let's get started. Hey there, if we haven't met yet, I'm Veronica and I'm the Content Marketing Director and Instructor here at the Buzzsprout School. Our channel is full of resources for podcast creators like you, so make sure you subscribe. Also, we have an exciting mini course called Idea to Podcast Simplified for business owners, so you can finally launch your podcast and turn leads into clients without adding anything else to your to-do list. So after watching this video, you can go to podcastingsmart.com to enroll for free. I'll also leave the link below. So are you ready? These are the 5 easy steps to launch your podcast. First, choose a podcast hosting platform. Second, pick your podcast name. Third, write a podcast description. Fourth, design a podcast cover art. And finally, create episodes. There's a lot that goes into each of these steps, and I'm going to break it all down for you. So let's get started with step 1, choosing a podcast hosting platform. But what in the Señor de los Santos Cielos is a podcast hosting platform? You need a podcast hosting site to upload and distribute your podcast to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and other podcast players. Our top pick is Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout has a ton of resources and great features to help independent podcasters grow their podcasts. We've been using Buzzsprout with our own podcast and our clients and students' podcasts, and we're really excited because they're also a sponsor in this video for you. So step 1 is to open up Buzzsprout, and you can sign up for Buzzsprout for free. Then Buzzsprout actually walks you through the next 4 steps. Step 1, complete. That was an easy step. So let's move on to step 2, your podcast name. And let me tell you, I've seen people either spending way too much time finding the right name or no time at all.
It's crazy.
But whether you're on either end of the spectrum, choose a name that's easy to pronounce, easy to spell, and unique. You want to avoid encrypted names that only mean something to you or names with weird pronunciation or spelling. Otherwise, you will make it very hard for your listeners to remember and recommend your podcast to others. And word of mouth is still one of the best ways to grow your audience. And bonus points if your podcast name is a descriptive phrase or question people are searching for online, like how to lose weight, how to make money online, or how to train a puppy. You get it. Doing this will help your podcast come up in searches over time, meaning it will have more chances to be found by new listeners who are interested in your topic. And finally, don't use a name if another podcast is already using it. I know it's a bummer to find a name you like and discover that somebody else is using it already, but using the same name will confuse your audience and could even lead to legal problems down the road. So do a quick Google search with the name you choose, and also run a search on the podcast players and Podchaser, which is a podcast platform /database, to find out if there's another podcast with the same name. If you feel stuck creatively and need extra help, you can use AI tools like ChatGPT to get the ideas flowing. Hey ChatGPT, give me a bunch of podcast name ideas in the creative marketing industry. Wow. So we have a name. I'm going with Creative Spark with Veronica. Now let's move on to step number 3, podcast description. The next thing you'll need is a description for your podcast. This is an important piece of writing because it will serve as an elevator pitch when people ask you about your podcast. You can also add it to your email communications when you're reaching out to potential guests for your show. It can be part of your first episode or trailer. Your podcast description can also go on your website, social media, or any other promotional piece. So your girl here is going to hook you up with a template so you can write your own. You're welcome.
Thumbs up!
You can take a screenshot or pause the video and write it down. Welcome to name of the podcast. A podcast about topic. Hosted by host. In each episode, format. Engagement sentence. First in the description is the name of your podcast. We already picked a name, so we can move on to the second line, which is the topic. You may already have a topic in mind. If you don't, it's simple. You want to find something that you truly enjoy and provides value to your audience. The third element or line in the description is the host. And here you want to introduce yourself and share your authority. And I'm not talking only about professional credentials. If your podcast is about, let's say, for example, dating in the online world, you don't need to be an expert in dating if you're going to be sharing your own stories. Just tell your audience why you're qualified to talk about the topic. In your description, you also want to talk about the format of your podcast, whether it will be interviewing experts, telling stories, or providing coaching and education about the topic. And finally, you want to get into the habit of asking your audience to do something to support the podcast. It can be to follow the podcast, follow you on social media, or share the podcast with a friend. Get in the habit of asking your audience to take action. So this is what my podcast description will look like. Welcome to the Creative Spark Podcast, a podcast about unconventional and innovative marketing in the online space, designed to ignite your ideas and strategies. Hosted by Veronica, a passionate content creator, marketing junkie, and storyteller. In each episode, she shares inspiring stories of individuals in the digital space who have used creativity to captivate millions and stand out in a crowded online world. Don't miss out on these captivating tales and invaluable insights. Follow the Creative Spark Podcast for your regular dose of inspiration and cutting-edge marketing ideas. Okay, so now we have the description. Let's move on to step 4, podcast cover. Buzzsprout also makes this step super easy with an integration with Canva. All I have to do is click on the Design with Canva button, and I'm taken instantly to the perfect dimensions I need to design my cover. Look at all of these ready-to-use templates that we have to choose from. Once you select a template you like, you can swap out the placeholder pictures with your own photos, easily change the colors of words and elements within the design, move things around, and resize them to your liking. If you're feeling an extra creative spark, get it? Creative spark? You can add all sorts of elements and layers and get really creative. And voila! And voila! What do you think? Pretty impressive for a girl who doesn't have any design skills. 0 design skills. None. Okay, now the last step. Step 5, episodes. Did you think that we're going to have a podcast without the audio? No. We're going to record episodes. There's a lot that goes into creating episodes that captivate your audience. I'm going to give you the quick rundown here for the sake of time. But in our free mini course, Idea to Podcast, we go into detail with strategies and development. So enroll in the program by going to podcastingsmart.com. Your podcast will be divided into episodes. You can choose to post weekly or bi-weekly. We recommend launching your podcast with at least 3 episodes, and one of those episodes is your trailer. A podcast trailer's purpose is to get your audience excited about your podcast launch. The good news is that your podcast trailer includes pretty much everything you already created for your podcast description. You just have to elaborate a little bit more on each point and add your personality to it. You can script your trailer word for word or put it together in an outline and keep it natural. After you have your trailer written down and ready to go, it's time to record. So you're going to need recording equipment and recording software. This is the fun part of starting a podcast, choosing your gear and recording your first episodes. This is where things start to get loco in the cabeza. So let's talk about equipment, my favorite subject. There are different options to choose from depending on your budget and production goals. A podcast setup we use here in the studio to record our own podcast content jefe is the Shure SM7B, which is an XLR microphone plugged into the SSL2 Plus audio interface to get amazing, professional, tasty audio. You've probably seen podcasters using this setup and looks super cool and professional. But you can also achieve good results using a USB microphone plugged directly into your computer. Our top picks are the Samsung Q2U, which is a budget-friendly microphone, and the Shure MV7 that looks classic and looks chiquito, and it has the Shure sound that we all like. Don't worry, I created a list with the Bad Sound School's favorite podcasting gear, including equipment for all budgets, in the description of this video. You're welcome. The only thing I ask in return is for you to thumbs up this video.
Thumbs up.
Now, There are different recording solutions for podcasts. The one that we recommend if you don't have any experience recording audio is Descript because it's very user-friendly. You can record your podcast into Descript and edit it like a Word document. With Descript, you can also record your interviews remotely with guests if you want to interview guests on your podcast. How cool is that? Now, if you want to be the talent behind the microphone and you don't want to bother with editing, you can hire an editor for your podcast, which is a very smart idea. Editing is time consuming, so if you can outsource this part of your production, even better. We train the best editors in the industry so we can connect you with the right one for your podcast. Go to podsoundschool.com for more information. But let's record the trailer for Creative Spark using Descript. Welcome to the Creative Spark podcast, where unconventional and innovative we explore the. After my trailer is recorded and edited, I just have to upload it, write a catchy episode title, create a unique episode description, and here is where I can add my call to action links. We can also add a unique episode cover art. I will leave mine at default. Then I select the season number and the episode type. I will choose trailer. And now let's click save and update episode. Ooh, we have a podcast. Ooh, ooh, we have a podcast. Ooh, ooh, we have a podcast. Ooh. No? Yeah, get excited. Now that we have an episode, we can publish to all of the podcast directories. Buzzsprout makes this very simple from the directories tab with a follow along checklist. To get listed on Spotify, we just have to click one button. Now we can check on Spotify to see if we're live. I'm going to check on my phone. Creative Spark with Veronica. Here it is. And here's my trailer. Welcome to the Creative Spark podcast, where unconventional and innovative marketing in the online space takes center stage. This journey is about... Okay, now it's your turn. Go to podsoundschool.com/Buzzsprout and make sure to share your new podcast with us and tag us on social media at PodSoundSchool so we can celebrate you. Now you may be wondering, what about video podcasts? I love that you are asking that. You can produce your audio-only podcast with Buzzsprout and at the same time record video to share on YouTube. Video podcasting is so fun, but there's a lot that goes into it, and I cover everything you need to get started in this video right here. So go watch it.